Hello again and welcome back. This is lesson 4 of our Earned Schedule primer. And in this lesson, you and I are going to look at the Earned Schedule metrics and its application in the real world. So let's make a start right away. So the solution to the problems with earned value is to use Earned Schedule. You see, you will be using Earned Schedule with your critical path method, where you'll be applying the Earned Schedule calculations with your network diagram and Gantt chart and so on, as you track actual work completed on each task. You see, being ahead or behind schedule often depends on where each task was placed on the baseline, so critical path assessment complements the true schedule position. A schedule variance analysis and critical path schedule analysis needs to be performed to complement the result of the earned value management schedule variance and performance metrics. As I've said, you can still use earned value for your cost-based data, whereas you will use earned schedule for all of your time-based or schedule data. So let's look at the way ahead. As I mentioned in my first opening slide, there are several methods that you can apply to improve the accuracy and reliability of your traditional earned value management scheduling metrics. You'll want to continue to use earned value management for your cost-based data. You'll still want to use critical path management to manage your schedule, both in terms of status and forecast. You'll want to use your critical chain management in the use of the buffers and to manage the resources to keep on track. And now you'll be able to use your earned schedule management for all of your time-based calculations. As I've shared with you, Earned Schedule is a new concept developed by Walter Lippke back in 2003, and it's now an extension used within the Project Management Institutes of America practice standard for earned value management. So all of you folks that are preparing for your project management professional will also want to get up to speed with Earned Schedule. Now, as you've learned thus far, Earned Schedule is analogous to earned value, but instead of using cost in some monetary units, dollars, pounds sterling, yen, euros, what have you, for measuring schedule performance, you'll be using time-based data. So rather than just looking at schedule performance using a dollar value of work accomplished against the plan, Earned Schedule looks at when the work was supposed to be completed, and this is its power. Let's go back to our diagram we've already used. In this case, showing a time frame, let's imagine in weeks, where today's time is at the end of week 12. Up to this point, you've been plotting your regular earned value amounts, let's imagine at the end of each week, and here is your current value of earned value. Here's the planned value graph showing you up to the end of your project. And what you'd want to do is to throw your earned value amount back to the point where it hits the planned value curve and drop it down. And in this example, I'm showing, although you're at week 12, what you've earned in terms of schedule is only up to week 9. So in other words, in order to measure earned schedule, you need to determine when the work was supposed to be earned, just as I've shown on this graphic. So, at what point in time, using the current earned value, when should it have actually occurred? Well, we've just shown this diagrammatically, but what we need to do is to be able to do it using a calculation. You know that you've got to calculate this by crossing the horizontal line from the current cumulative amount of earned value to the planned value curve. It's the intersection of this line with the PV curve which gives you your earned schedule. So as you can see from this diagram, in this particular example, the earned schedule is when it equals planned value at the 9-month time frame. Therefore, earned schedule is the point in time when the current earned value was planned to be accomplished. Because of course, earned schedule is the point at which the project planned value was supposed to be equal to the current earned value. That's all we're saying here. So let's now start to look at some of our new metrics, starting off with actual time, or AT. In this example, the total number of periods executed from the beginning of the project, here we are, is 12 months. Let's imagine these are months. So the actual time in this example would be 12 months. Okay? Let's look at the planned duration, PD, another metric which we'll need for earned schedule. This is the original duration of the project, in this case 16 months. Okay, that's that point here. So here are your new earned schedule metrics in time units. Just in the same way as earned value needed earned value, planned value and actual cost, here we're needing earned schedule or ES, actual time, that's AT, and planned duration, which is PD, here shown as 16 months, as I've said. So in a similar way to the traditional earned value management metrics, new formulas can be generated for schedule performance, and in this and the remaining videos I will be developing them for you and showing you examples. So here's the first, looking at schedule variance. Don't get confused, we've got a lowercase here showing you that its earned schedule metric equals, in this case, the earned schedule minus the actual time. Where's the earned schedule? Well, in this case it's 9. So we would calculate this in this case by looking at 9 minus 12, which, as you would rightly expect, to show you a negative number, showing you that you're behind schedule, just as this shows here. So in order to distinguish between traditional EVM metrics and earned schedule metrics, we use the lowercase t representing time. So using my example here, the schedule variance and schedule performance indexes are schedule variance in terms of time equals ES minus AT. Let's plug them in. ES is 9 and actual time is 12. 9 minus 12 gives you negative 3 months, showing that currently 3 months behind schedule. So we can answer already the question as to whether SPI will be getting better or worse. Let's look at SPI in the time domain. This is calculated by taking ES and dividing by AT. ES in this case, earned schedule, is 9 divided by AT, which is 12, giving you 0.75. Just as before, when using traditional earned value metrics, when you've got a ratio of SPI less than 1, it means you're behind schedule, just as we've calculated already. The difference in this case, however, you are measuring the schedule variance in units in time instead of translating them from money units as before. Do you remember that schedule variance in earned value was always shown as a dollar amount, which is not only confusing, once the project gets beyond 2/3 through, will actually start giving you false values. So in this example, you are 3 months behind schedule, as shown up here, and the schedule performance index shows that for every hour worked, we were only 0.75 of an hour productive in accomplishing the work planned. In other words, we only got 45 minutes of work out of every hour of the work planned. Referring to the problems with earned value management, the SPI dollar amount in the old world and the schedule variance dollar values at the end of the project, such problems will have been fixed or resolved by instead using schedule performance index in the time domain and schedule variance in the time domain of earned schedule. Keeping on the same example here, assume just for the moment that this project completes in month 20 and that your total approved budget is $100,000 at the time of project completion. Let's plug those numbers in and see what they look like. So at the end of the project, the earned value is 100% complete times the budget, which is 100k. The planned value at the end of the project equals your budget, which is the budget at completion of 100k. Whereas your earned schedule equals your planned duration equals 16 months. And your actual time at the end of the project, I've said assume it completes in month 20, equals 20 months. So, using traditional earned value metrics, we know it gets false as you go towards the end of the project, where your schedule variance in dollars or some other monetary value will equal 0 at the end using traditional EVM metrics, and your SPI will equal 1 by the same token. Whereas using earned schedule and plugging these numbers in, we can see that the schedule variance in the time domain equals ES minus AT, 16 minus 20, giving you 4 months behind schedule. So at this juncture, assuming that your project is due to finish in month 20, you know that it ought to come in 4 months late, and your SPI in the time domain equals ES divided by AT, giving you 0.8, showing you, since it's less than 1, that yes indeed, that you're going to come in late. 4 months to be precise. So, whereas SPI and SV in the time domain provided good indicators of project status, while your traditional money-based SPI and SV ended up at 1 and 0 respectively, regardless of the project coming in 4 months late. If proof were needed, this simple monetary example I've given you here shows that using Earned Schedule will get you the right information, and that information will tie in exactly with your critical path analysis and your network diagrams that you're using in conjunction with Earned Schedule. So do join me again in Lesson 5, where I'll introduce some new metrics using Earned Schedule to forecast and predict the future. From me, Dave, thank you again for your time and attention. You and I will meet up again in Lesson 5. So bye for now.